Miss today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm your Tuesday-Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. We've got a great show coming up with some information about L.A. Wilson talking about how the family newspaper survived the Great Depression, and Morgan Gill talking struggles to fill teacher positions. And don't touch that dial because Alicia Williams will share some things that you don't want to miss. You're listening to Southern Miss today on Southern Miss Radio.
To the big-hearted, the bold, the teachers, the growers, the builders, the change makers. We need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go the distance to make a difference. We're volunteers, partners, communities, bringing our experience, joy, and passion to building a better world together. Are you looking for more? Then we are looking for you. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Southern Miss today on Southern Miss Radio. In USM campus news, School of Polymer Science and Engineering faculty member earns national honor. Dr. Xiaodin Gu, an associate professor at in the School of Polymer Science and Engineering at USM, was named one of the 400 scientists nationwide to earn the prestigious Presidential Early Career Award for scientists and engineers. This award is the highest honor given by the U.S. government to early career scientists and engineers, celebrating groundbreaking research and leadership. Dr. Gu goes on to say, "I'm deeply honored and thrilled by this recognition, and sincerely thank my incredible students, colleagues, and mentors whose supports and collaboration have been instrumental in this achievement. This award inspires me to continue pushing the boundaries of research in my field while also fostering the growth and education of the next generation of scientists on campus." Congratulations. In Hattiesburg news, Serengeti Springs hiring employees for the summer. If you're interested in having fun while on the job, then working at the Serengeti Springs might be your next job. The water park will open for its second season this summer. In 2024, Serengeti Springs hired around 200 employees for the summer season. The water park is next door to the Hattiesburg Zoo, so you'll be able to see some animals on your way to work. The positions open include lifeguards, slide attendants, cooks, dining attendants, and bartenders. The water park features water slides, a lazy river, and a large bucket that fills with water and dumps onto the people underneath it. What's not to love? So if you're interested, head on over to SerengetiSpringsMS.com. In Mississippi news, remains found by hunter in Carroll County confirmed to be Jimmy J. Lee. On Saturday, Carroll County deputies arrived at the rural part of the county when hunters had stumbled upon what seemed to be human remains. On Wednesday, the Oxford Police Department and the Carroll County Sheriff's Office confirmed that the remains belonged to Jimmy J. Lee, the murdered Ole Miss student. Chief Jeff McCutcheon goes on to say, "The Oxford Police Department made a commitment to finding Jay, no matter how long it took. This case has remained an active investigation since July 8th, 2022. We are grateful to the Lee family and Jay's friends for their help and support throughout this process. We hope this confirmation brings them even a small measure of comfort. Rest in peace, Jay." In national news, Trump defends Gaza proposal, saying territories would be turned over to U.S. by Israel. President Donald Trump has doubled down on plans for the Gaza Strip, saying the Palestinian enclave would be turned over to the United States by Israel. In an interview with Fox News, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised Trump's proposal. On Truth Social, Trump posted suggesting that Palestinians could be resettled into far safer and more beautiful communities with new and modern homes in the region, adding fresh confusion to discrepancies in his stance on the future of Palestinians in Gaza. We'll be right back with sports and weather after a word from our sponsors.
The NLS Braille and Talking Book program gives patrons with visual or physical disabilities the freedom to read their way.
If you want to read in electronic braille, you can. If you want to read on your phone, you can. If you want to read in heart print, you can.
Everybody can read the way they want to read using this program.
For more information about the National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped Library of Congress, visit loc.gov/thatallmayread.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now for your sports. Zane Palomino earned Sunbelt Weekly honors. Zane Palomino won the high jump with a clearance of 2.20 meters, which made him earn Sunbelt Men's Indoor Field Athlete of the Week honors. He has contributed one of the 2 first-place finishes and led the Golden Eagle men for a third-place team finish at South Alabama Indoor Invitational on February 2nd in Birmingham. Congratulations, Zane. Men's basketball falls in dramatic fashion at App State. App State scored on a buzzer-winning dunk yesterday to pick up a 60-58 win over Southern Miss in Boone, North Carolina. Andre Curbelo led the Golden Eagles with 16 points, and Denijay Harris picked up with his 12th double-double of the season after getting 15 points and 12 rebounds. The Golden Eagles will travel to Ball State on Saturday afternoon to take on the Cardinals in the MAC SBC Challenge. Good luck, Eagles. To keep up with all the Golden Eagles sports activities, head on over to southernmiss.com. Now on for your weather. We have some sunny skies with the highs around 80 degrees, with cloudy skies joining us overnight, as well as the lows being in the lower 60s. We're going to be experiencing some fog Friday morning before we get some clear skies with the highs around 80 degrees and the lows in the low 60s. Saturday will be pretty humid with highs in the low 80s and the lows in the lower 60s. And Sunday will be partially cloudy weather with the highs in the low 80s and the lows in the upper 50s. Up next, we have L.A. Wilson talking about how the family newspaper survived the Great Depression. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. L.A. Wilson of Richton recalls how their family's newspaper survived the Great Depression by running foreclosure notices and accepting food as payment for subscriptions. He explains.
Through the Depression years, this newspaper was kept alive only by the foreclosures of the Federal Land Bank in New Orleans. And that was the money that kept this newspaper going. Foreclosure. That's what kept us going. The Federal Land Bank would come in and tell if you had your farm mortgaged, they would say, if you'll pay taxes on it, we won't foreclose. Well, the poor man couldn't pay the taxes, so they'd foreclose and we'd run the notices. You just didn't collect your subscription. You kept people, I've seen people we'd keep on the books for 6 and 8 years at a time. The people just couldn't pay like some of course, now we took produce as payment for subscription. You'd take sweet potatoes, a ham, you'd take syrup, anything that you could eat, we would take it on subscription. Take eggs, chickens, anything anybody want to bring.
Bill Ellison hosts Voices of Our People World War II, a new podcast from Mississippi Moments, sponsored by the Mississippi Humanities Council. That's Voices of Our People World War II, wherever you get your podcasts.
That was L.A. Wilson. Coming up, we've got a special guest that you don't want to miss.
Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest. Sponsorship comes from Signature Magazine, the Pine Belt's original Seen and Be Seen magazine. Since 2006, Signature has been the Hub City source for arts, music, fashion, food, and more. Signature Magazine is published monthly and available at more than 200 locations throughout the Pine Belt. Signature is also available with the free Hub City Spokes app for Apple and Android phones. Signature Magazine, the Pine Belt's Seen and Be Seen magazine.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Alicia Williams. Hey, how are you?
Hi, Hi, everyone. I'm doing okay today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So, first and foremost, for anyone who doesn't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am a student here at the University of Southern Miss. I transferred 2 semesters ago now from Holmes Community College in Ridgeland, and I'm from the Madison area. So I'm very familiar with Mississippi, and I have family on the coast as well. And I'm involved here at our creative division with Southern Miss. And yeah, I just love everything digital media and such.
Well, that's really cool. And whenever you transferred from your previous school, how was that like for you?
So personally, my transfer process went really well. I didn't have any complications with credits not transferring over or anything.
Okay.
So I was really grateful for that because I've heard a ton of horror stories from transferring. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I do understand that you're an undergraduate here at USM. What classification are you, and what's your major?
Yes, I am an undergraduate student. So I'm currently a junior because I added on a double major. So that makes me a junior now.
Okay.
And my majors include digital journalism along with communication studies. And I'm also minoring in digital innovation.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about those majors for people that don't really know what those fields are?
Yeah, so digital journalism is basically going to be, how would I explain this? Media, everything media and news related, essentially. We check our phones for our updates in news. You also check the TV for news. You check the newspaper for news. That's going to be your digital journalism, but it's going to be more digitally focused.
Yeah.
Now, communication studies also focuses on like social media aspects of communication and how we communicate with people across the world or someone sitting from across from us and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Okay. That's really cool. So, whenever you were in your previous school, did you also follow digital journalism there, or did you just do it to complete your general education?
Yeah, so at my previous school, I was on the track for mass communication.
Okay.
Technically, we don't have that here at USM. It's going to be communication studies.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I got my associates in.
Okay, that's awesome. So, how would you describe your time here as an undergraduate at USM?
So my time here has been really good. First semester, transferring, getting here, not really knowing many people was pretty rocky, which I know is cliche, but of course coming to a new environment, it was pretty rocky for me adjusting and everything. But now that I've adjusted and I found my community and my safe spaces and made some great connections, I've had a great time here.
And did you struggle making any friends when you transferred over to the school, or were they kind of easy for you to get a hold of?
So not necessarily because I'm only like around 2 hours away from where I'm from.
Yeah.
A lot of people already went here that I've already known. But growing up and knowing people from elementary school versus college, there's going to be a major like difference between people you knew in kindergarten versus now. So I definitely was familiar with people, but didn't maybe connect with them as I used to. So yeah, it was definitely some searching.
Okay. And what does a typical academic day look for you?
So typically, because it's a new semester, I'm still thinking of my schedule. Today I have class starting at 9:30, which is different for me because last semester I didn't have class till 11.
Yeah.
So I've been having to get up pretty early, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then other days I have class at 1 p.m. So a typical day would involve me getting up. I do 5 minutes of mobility every morning.
Okay.
I have about 3 to 4 classes a day. I try to bring a lunch or take advantage of those bonus dining dollars I get from being a commuter. And then after that, typically I go to the newsroom and figure out any projects that they need my assistance on because I'm a volunteer and whatnot. And pretty much after that, I go to the gym and I go home.
What an eventful day.
Yeah.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah, thank you.
And you mentioned it earlier that you were a part of the creative division here at the Student Media Center. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so the creative division is a section of Southern Miss Student Media. You know, you have your print, you have your radio, you have TV. Creative division is going to handle like your commercials, essentially your TV shows, another aspect of TV shows rather than TV itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do a lot of creative things. We filmed the ADHD conference this past semester, and we're working on a lot of TV shows such as Southern Miss Says. I'm the new host of that, so that's been pretty exciting.
Can you tell us more about what Southern Miss Says is?
Yeah, so Southern Miss Says is a new, well, it's not new. Shout out to Carter. Carter started the series, and it's pretty much featuring Eagle voices.
Yeah.
So we ask pretty intriguing questions, and we just get opinions from students. And yeah, that's pretty much what we do. We go out into the THAD and wherever students really interact at and just get their opinions and get some pretty funny responses. So yeah, we just had our first episode yesterday? No, Tuesday. And our next one's going to be coming out next Tuesday. So it's been pretty cool.
What would you say is the funniest experience you've had so far as the host of that show?
Okay, I don't want to spoil any upcoming things, but probably, I will say for the upcoming episode, it is a Valentine's Day theme.
Yeah.
So it is about Hear Me Outs, which a Hear Me Out is essentially, if you know what a Hear Me Out is, it's essentially trying to justify like a crush on the character or some sort of thing that you wouldn't traditionally have one on. So we got some pretty funny responses, one of them being a specific kind of umbrella. So that was a pretty interesting experience. Yeah.
That's an interesting one. I've never heard anyone having some sort of attraction to an umbrella. That's okay.
A J-shaped umbrella.
A J-shaped umbrella. Very interesting.
Very, yeah.
Okay. So how does a typical workday look for you, with you being the host and you also being a part of the creative division of SM2?
Yeah, so typically I am a volunteer, so I'm not as assigned as the other members are. Now, I kind of get in where I fit in, but with Southern Miss Says, I do have a lot more responsibility with that because it is essentially my show and I'm producing it, although I do have help of other team members. So I do the editing, and usually I have someone helping me to record. Typically a day-to-day, I like to film on Tuesdays.
Okay.
During my break from 11 to 1, that's usually when people are coming into the THAD to get their food and the lunch rush and everything like that, so I can get some pretty good responses there. Then typically after that, you know, I just get all the footage onto my computer, start slowly editing to release the new episode.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And is it ever nerve-wracking whenever you're coming to like interview or like ask questions to students, or is that kind of like a second nature for you?
I would say no, but I would be lying. Yes, I consider myself to be a pretty social person, but still having to approach people. There are many people, you will get 100 no's.
Yeah.
People see a camera and they will run from you.
Yeah.
They will give you nasty looks, which is okay. But it's not the easiest because you definitely have to make sure that your guest also feels comfortable to get a good response from them and everything as well. So it's definitely something you can grow into.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone that inspires you here at USM or just in general?
Just in general? Okay. I think a lot of my professors inspire me, but specifically in general would probably be my grandfather. Are we being general?
Yeah, you can be general.
Okay. Yeah, definitely my grandfather. He's a huge inspiration for me. He grew up in the South here in Mississippi, and he actually moved to New York during affirmative action to become a surgeon. He was initially here to become a teacher, just like his mother was, and so on and so forth. So being able to hear his story and how something in history books directly impacted my stance here today has been really interesting, and hearing all the struggles that he went through as a Black man trying to succeed in the medical field and everything like that. It's been really impactful to me, just hearing his story.
That's really beautiful to know that. Mm-hmm. So what words of advice do you have for our USM students?
Okay. This is kind of general, but I think it can be applied to USM students, of course. I would definitely say be yourself. Sounds so cliche, but I mean it so much, because if you're not yourself, you're going to attract people who are attracted to not yourself. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you're always being yourself, then you will attract people who genuinely appreciate you for being you. And you won't have to play a facade or anything like that. Yeah. Being yourself and unique is what really helps to bring out the best people in your life.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really a beautiful message. And I know that a lot of students are probably very concerned about what type of face or mask to put on, but the point of being in university and in general is that you're able to show your truest example of yourself.
Exactly.
So that's really great that you're promoting that message, and I'm sure that the people that you interview for your show also have that feeling from you. I feel like you're radiating it. Do you have any last words that you want to share for our listeners?
Other than that, I would just say, like I said, be yourself and know that you're loved. There's always a shoe to fit somewhere.
Right.
Okay? You'll find your shoe. Don't know where it is. It's okay. But you will eventually find your shoe.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Alicia Williams, for coming on today and providing a voice for our Eagles. Coming up, we've got Morgan Gill talking about the Mississippi schools struggling to fill teacher positions. Check it out.
Mississippi schools are struggling to fill teaching positions, and rural districts like Greene County are among the hardest hit. School leaders say they are losing teachers to neighboring states due to higher pay and better benefits. The state is working to fully fund a new education formula and increase incentives for teachers in high-need areas.
One thing we know about the teacher shortage here in Mississippi is that it's not getting any better. We had high hopes that we would be attracting new educators to our state. That just seems not to be happening.
Efforts are also underway to ease financial burdens on teachers and improve recruitment programs statewide. I'm Morgan Gill. This report is brought to you by the Roy Howard Community Journalism Center.
Thanks for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Huge thanks to Seb Hodges, our audio engineer, and Meadow Smith, our video engineer, for keeping this bird flying. Big shout out to our assistant producer, Sam Romeo, and our program director, Adeline Fields, as well as our executive producer, Ore Ide, and our GM, Dr. Wilbur Martin. Don't forget to follow SM2 Media on social media. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker.